Klean Radio starts now.
Welcome, Los Angeles. Welcome, KFWB News Talk 980. Also, the people out there listening to us on cleanradio.com. That's Klean with a K. Wow, there's a few too many women in the studio tonight. There can never be too many women in the studio.
There could never be.
And let's welcome to Klean. Let's welcome to Klean Radio. Jennifer, Easy on the Eyes, Gimenez will be co-hosting with me.
Mm-hmm. Hi, how are you?
I am divine. How are you?
Good. You're scaring me with that stare.
Sorry.
That was like I'm going to tell you some things that you don't want to hear about you.
I might do that later.
You always do.
Yes, I do. And it's chunks of truth. It's the anesthetic of pain with the scalpel of love.
Thank you,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. And also, let's welcome in, let's just call her a co-hostess tonight,
Aww.
Josie, the very talented Feldman.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and you're, it says here, it's written down in my notes that you're a Klean Treatment Center primary therapist. But what interested me more is that you're a hypnotherapist.
I am
Yes.
a hypnotherapist as well.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll use that to quit smoking.
You will use it to
Yeah.
quit smoking.
You know?
Amazing.
Yeah, what about you? You want to try that? Not that you
yes.
smoke.
No, I do want to try that.
Yeah.
You know, I just stopped biting my nails for the first time. Well, actually, I've done it once before, like many, many years ago, and I just stopped doing that. And yesterday I was talking to my mom, and I said, it's smoking that's next. And I tried last year for a minute, and then I went through this, whole life change that it was my excuse to go back to smoking.
Well, you lost 275 pounds.
Yeah, 564
Wow.
pounds I lost. No, I really didn't.
Okay.
Well, maybe put like gasoline on the top of this, and then you won't want to smoke.
Okay. You're so evil.
No, but they say to do that with biting the
Gas-
nails, right? People put stuff that if you taste it,
You
it
can't
tastes
do
horrible.
gasoline. Like what?
Well, no, I mean obviously, well, if you're gonna, yeah.
I mean, people do that with dogs. I'm not sure that works with human beings, though.
No, with nails they do. I know people that have done that. They put tarnish on their nails.
I like the smell of gasoline.
Yeah, I actually like this. Can I
Already.
tell you something? So do I. And I also like the smell of. They don't really have these anymore, but I like the smell of shoemakers. Where you go to the
polish?
store. There's polish.
Yeah.
I've always when I was
And
a kid.
paint. Everything
No
like
paint. You lost me on.
No, I
and,
like
and
it.
whiteout too. But I had, it's funny
Whiteout,
about.
no.
I had a kid. Every school I think has that kid that sniffed the whiteout. He didn't become a drug addict. He's just weird. But he was that kid that would sniff whiteout. Anyways, welcome to Klean Radio. It's a show about addiction, recovery, the life after, and who better to be in here talking about that tonight than Jennifer Easy on the Eyes, Gimenez.
Thank you.
And just an amazing. I'm really lucky you're in here tonight. We got two talented, smart women, and obviously beautiful. And let's say hi to Team Gimenez out there. I'll give your pizza
Yeah,
shout.
hi everyone. Thank you so
And,
much for listening and tweeting
Yeah.
and
right
all
off
the love and support.
And right off the bat, let's just say we have T-shirts that are coming out that say Klean Radio. They got stuck in the printer. I'd like to apologize to anybody for the delay, but they'll be out as soon as possible, and we're going to be sending more out to your fans.
Okay, good. Because if not, Josie and I are going to kick your booty.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, we will.
Because
Absolutely.
And,
I don't want to
where
let
is
anyone
the problem
down.
with that? And but there's actually, let's talk about something very, obviously we got this huge story in the news. It's been going all around. And I don't know anything about this other than what I read in the news. It's the guy in Florida, the homeless guy that sadly had his face bitten off.
Sadly, it was terrible.
It was terrible. It was terrible.
Dramatic, like,
And he
sadly.
It's cannibalism.
And it's cannibalism. And the amazing thing about this, and I was talking to Rand, our producer, outside about this, is that you always hear about people complaining when cops shoot somebody. This is the one time where everybody's like, God, they did a good thing. I don't even want to know what the rest of the story is, but they shot this dude good. And if somebody ever is chewing my face, I allow the police to just shoot the guy as quickly as possible.
I honestly got so sad for both of them, but I
Yeah.
mean, extremely sad for the man who's in critical
Yeah.
condition. I was talking to someone about that, the effects of drugs and alcohol and what it does to you, but also the effects of mental disorders.
Right.
Like people, if they stop taking their medication, like things like that occur, or like they start like killing people while driving and all this stuff. It's like, it's so extremely sad, from the reports are saying he was actually a really nice guy.
Right.
Off drugs.
But okay, so let's get to this. They're saying he was on bath salts.
Bath salts.
What? I know both of you know this. I don't know what. I know a little bit. What are bath salts? Not the kind that you chill, relax in the bath with.
which is what you immediately think that's what that is.
They are called bath salts.
Well, they're not what we put in our bathtubs, like Epsom salts or anything. But they do market them as bath salts, and they're being called the new LSD. Basically, you take the worst attributes of meth, coke, PCP, LSD, and ecstasy, and you put them together, and you have bath salts.
That's and how do you use them? Do you sit in a bath?
No, don't you snort it?
You can snort it, you can smoke it, you can eat them. I mean, you can do pretty much anything.
And why do they put them? Is it that they're putting them in bath salts to hide them, or is that?
Well, by marketing them as bath salts and labeling them not for human consumption, they have been able to sell them legally at head shops and mini marts, similar to the way that people get away with selling whippets as like head cleaner or cassette cleaner.
And they call them head shops.
Yeah.
What is okay? Why are they called head shops?
I always wondered that myself.
They're a trip in the head.
The number here is, by the way, if you just tuned in, you're listening to Klean Radio Live. The number here is 1-888-539-2980. That's 888-539-2980. Question number 1 for the night, please. Somebody call in and tell me why they call them head shots.
No, head shops.
Head shop.
Head. H-E-A-D.
Yeah, but you said shots. Like
no, head shops. That's my Brooklyn accent.
Oh,
and sorry. And so they sell. Andrew's gone. It's like
and you got a lot of estrogen going on. Are you okay?
I feel like I'm growing up in Brooklyn again with my 2 sisters, and I grew up with a lot of women, and I had a battle for my.
I know it's like a lot of triggers are coming up for you right now. Are you okay?
If you guys
How
don't
are you
cry, I'll be
feeling
okay.
right now?
Just
you
don't
know
cry.
I cry. I
Yeah,
cry.
just don't cry, and because that I can't handle. But no, so let's get back to it. So these things are obviously horrific. You take every bad drug, you put them together, or the bad side effects, and you got bath salts, and they're legal.
They are legal.
So spice, like bath salts. So this is so you could basically just pick this thing up. And people are obviously doing this. You have teenagers out there that are using these things. See, parents, people that are listening out there tonight, this is a huge problem.
No, it is a huge problem. I didn't know about this stuff, about bath salts, until about 6 months ago. Nor did I really ever know about like sniffing glue or anything like that. Like I didn't know about the things you could get high off of that were legal besides drinking. I think it's a huge epidemic that's going on right now.
Yeah, no, it's
like pills,
Well, this actually really happened. I wanted to clean my computer a couple of years ago, and I was at Target, and I went to buy that spray, and they carded me at the counter. You can't buy the spray cleaner because people are using it to get high.
Well, just like Sudafed, you have to give them your driver's license and fill out all these things.
It's this huge thing you have to go through.
And I'm guessing that, listen, this has been going on since the beginning of time, whether it's, cavemen hitting their heads against the wall or people spinning around in circles to feel dizzy. But I think the problem is these things are getting really bad. They're getting, they're just...
They're beyond bad, I think.
Yeah. Have you found... as far as, obviously you're the co-host, you're the star of Celebrity Rehab and Sober House, and now it's just rehab. Are people coming in with bath salt addictions?
No, we didn't have any bath salt addiction.
I was hoping you'd say yes. Can you lie to us?
Yes, we had 5 of the 8 people. No, but it's, I think that it's even younger than what we would imagine, than 20, 21-year-olds doing it. I mean, obviously this guy was a lot older, but still, that's not what I was seeing, although I'm hearing a lot about it. And MDMA. Yeah.
Yes. Isn't that ecstasy?
Yeah, but they now call it differently.
Well, you know what actually really annoys me is that Madonna is on this tour called the MDNA tour.
Right.
And I got to say this, you know what? I grew up listening to this woman. She was great. I mean, I loved her, but you know what? Get a life. And I if they're sorry to the Madonna haters, I know you're. I hope to God, but and I actually flinched just now. And but you know what? Grow up. It's this is what you have to do to sell your musical tour. Is call it the MDNA tour.
What's next?
Right. Just why not just go for it? Just call I'm old and my arms make noises when they move.
No, stop
and
it.
No, it's disgusting. You know what it is? I think, but you know what? You know why?
Why are you bashing her arms? Are amazing.
No, but
she's ripped.
She is ripped. Oh my God. But you know why I'm saying this? Because I care about teenagers and I care about kids.
Yeah.
And it's I think somebody has to, and obviously I'm just a small town boy and living in a lonely world, and but I have to stand up for something, and you have to, and there is something to it. And there was a DJ that got blasted. That for her doing this, he was actually the DJ on her tour that said something because she had made a reference to Molly, and I guess that's something with
Molly,
ecstasy,
yeah.
right?
That's
so
like another thing I kept hearing
right,
while we were shooting.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's ecstasy too. I think these are code names, and
I think there might be a little change to it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think it's scary. Aerosol, like I didn't know about any of that stuff either. I feel so ancient right now.
Well, that's what that's what happens. It's like there's always going to be a new alcohol out there. I've been sober a little over 13 years, and it's like since then, there's always going to be a new booze that looks seductive, that looks, it's like Red Bull and vodka or whatever it is. In the end of the day, right? It's the same thing to get you out of you. Mm-hmm. And why don't you tell us a little bit about, obviously, the people that are listening. You're Jennifer Gimenez. You've been on. You've had this whirlwind of 6 years, right? How long are you sober now? 6 years?
6 years and 4 months.
And 36 days and 2 hours and 14
hours,
minutes.
Over 6 years, yeah.
Yeah, and you've had this amazing metamorphosis, right? This amazing life change in this 6 years. And what happened? To the people out there listening, how did that happen? How did that... What was you know what? Because I didn't meet you at day one. And I'm really curious. What did day one look like?
Well, day one...
Or pre-day one.
Pre-day one, that's an interesting question. There's been so many day ones for me.
Right.
And this last day one, it was horrible. I had been in treatment. I checked in July 12th of 2005. I went to Los Encinas, where Dr. Drew at the time was the head of chemical dependency. And I had relapsed in November. While being there, I went for 5 days, and I stayed a lot longer than 5 days, and I relapsed. So for 2 months, I couldn't get high enough, and I couldn't get drunk enough. I couldn't fix enough on anything that I ended up, it was so dark, and I would listen to the people in groups, like Bob Forrest was in my head. And, that's like a really sad place. Like when you're thinking about rehab, while you're getting loaded, or thinking about, okay, I need to get better. And I just knew I couldn't do it alone. I couldn't do it alone because I had tried to do it alone, or in the rooms of 12-step programs and with therapy and all this stuff. That was like going to church. I mean, whatever I could do, it wasn't working with just that.
Right.
And I went back into, the day I was going into treatment on January 15th, I remembered just saying to my mom, I looked at her and I said, I can't do this. And, it got so sad for my mom and my family as well as me. I was taking everyone down with me. And, my mom just didn't want me to die alone at that point. And so I was at her house, even though I had my own place and stuff, and I was using there. And it's so sad to say that. Makes me tear-eyed, and I won't cry yet. But and I said, I can't do this. I need to go, I guess, to treatment. And on the way to treatment, I was kicking her windshield and just begging her to take me to the corner of somewhere to find this dealer so I could get drugs one more time. And she was on the phone with my doctor, and they were like, just get her in the hospital. I actually have a very similar story. By the way, if you just tuned in, you're listening to Klean Radio Live. That's Klean with a K. You might be listening to us on News Talk 980 KFWB or on cleanradio.com. Give us a call, 888-539-2980. That's 888-539-2980. And if you need it a little slower, it's 888-539-2980. We're in the studio tonight with Jennifer Easy on the Eyes Gimenez, and also star of Celebrity Rehab, Sober House, and just a ton of other stuff. Menudo, I heard you're going to be on tour with them this summer. And also we... New Kids on the Block, don't forget. Oh, wait, they're actually on tour. They've actually come back. I know. And we have Josie Feldman, Klean Treatment Center therapist, also an amazing therapist and an amazing hypnotherapist that's going to help me quit smoking. Yes. And me? Yeah, and Jennifer, and seriously, Easy on the Eyes. We're Easy on the Eyes, and Judah. Right. So, what is it, people? Because we were talking about this before the show. Because Caroline also helps produce the show. We were saying everybody hears you're a hypnotherapist, right? Mm-hmm. And everybody has a fear that they're going to be knocked out and be chirping when they wake up. Yeah, people have a fear that they're going to lose control. Right. But that's not the case. You have control the whole time. When you see those
those stage shows where somebody quacks like a duck,
Right.
and walks around with their arms flapping. Usually the reason why they're doing that is because they actually want to quack like a duck. And if you've ever seen a stage show go wrong, the person just doesn't do anything. And that does happen because you can't do anything that you don't want to do, just like you can't quit smoking unless you want to quit smoking.
But you have a rule that when you walk in, you have to throw away your cigarettes right away. You have to like crush up your cigarettes.
Yes, throw away your last pack.
So that's your last pack.
So
yeah,
when
that's
you
your.
walk
You can't
in-
have any packs at home either. You have to bring them and then throw them away.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right.
So
I'm
you're
not gonna
prepared.
buy
You can
any
bring your
before I
entire
go. I'm not gonna
carton,
buy-
all of it
All right, I'm
before
not
you
gonna
walk
buy a
in.
carton. So you chuck
Day
out the
before.
cigarettes. You go to see Josie Feldman, and then that's it.
And that's it. Yeah.
Wow. The first time you're done.
Well, sometimes it takes up to 3 times. Sometimes it's
Mm-hmm.
not the first time, but I have experienced one time, and that's it.
Well, I went to this guy who was he's a hypnotist, and he's very well known, and he guarantees after the 3rd time, like, and I know so many people who went to him, he couldn't stop. Like, I couldn't stop. Like, he had a weird like wig too, toupee on, and so like I would just focus on that the whole time. But he's actually helping my best friend right now with some other stuff, and I really want to believe in it because I did hypnotherapy in treatment, but for deep issues, and like I thought maybe I had some like sexual abuse or whatnot because I had such a thing about women being abused, and I didn't. I found out, like, I thought maybe in the back of my mind somewhere, like, it wasn't something I was thinking like, oh, I know that's what happened to me, but because it wasn't, but I wanted to make sure, and that helped me. But I really want to believe, like, I'm gonna do this with you.
Okay,
because
let's do it.
I mean,
No, we're
yeah.
going to do it, and we're actually going to film it, and I think that would
Okay.
be great. I think, Team Jen would be happy to see Team Jem, Team Judah. I need a team, guys. Come on. It's like after every time Jen's on, it's like I read all these posts. Jen, you were great. Jen, you look great. The Judah needs some love. And I don't know what I just
don't
did,
do that
but that
ever
looked
again.
really bad. And we forget sometimes that we're shooting the show live, and I forget. But anyway, so what's the difference between a hypnotist and hypnotherapist? Or is it the same thing?
It's the same thing.
Right.
But a clinical hypnotherapist is somebody who's more trained.
How do
than
you
just
get
a
trained in that?
hypnotist.
She gets hypnotized.
Yeah, you get hypnotized, and then you know how to do it. It's passed
That's
along.
very funny.
No, you go to school for it, and you get certified in it.
Do you get like the first day? Do you get like a little clock?
Yeah, you get a little. Yeah,
Like,
you get a
like,
little.
You know when you go to
clock,
school
and then
they have you pick up
uh-huh.
your course assignment, like your stuff for books. You need to pick up like a little flashlight, a gold watch, like just
But you deal with other things than just
Yeah.
smoking. I mean,
Yeah,
you deal
absolutely.
with serious, deep issues.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
that's why I am so in awe of you. Not only are you extremely beautiful, and I tried to morph into you when
Oh,
I was
thank
shooting
you.
rehab.
I know.
Like, she dresses so cute.
Yeah,
she's
she's
so
a
strong.
dynamite
and
dresser. Yeah.
Oh.
She's just and so beautiful,
Yeah.
and like she owns herself. Like,
Yeah.
I see you when I'm there and at Klean, and I'm just like staring at you, like kind of drooling. And
Whoa, that's a
Ooh,
different sort of
wow.
show. If somebody just tuned into Clean Radio Live right now, they would not know. But can I tell you
I
something?
love women, and I appreciate them.
I want to. I want to say something, and to people out there that are listening. And this is, I can't imagine right now. When I was drinking in the end, and all I ever wanted, and I know this is going to sound hokey. I mean, I used to walk in Arizona. I was living in Mesa, Arizona, and I remember there's this place there called the Coffee Plantation. I used to walk down the street on Saturday nights, and I would stare inside, and I would stare at these beautiful women, beautiful people. All I wanted to do was be sitting inside with them drinking coffee. But the problem is when you have alcoholism or drug addiction, you can't get to the other side of the glass. And all I ever wanted was to be laughing like this. And Jennifer and I are both sober, and this is the laughs that we're doing now. There is hope. Mm-hmm. So the people out there that are driving, it's like you might be in like a dark tunnel if your son, or you yourself, but there's so much fun.
There is so much fun, and I think to go back to the story when you asked me what was it like the day before, I think it's more important to say what it was like in the beginning of my recovery and through the last years. Like, it sounds sounds good, like to say like, oh, I'm put together today and I can speak, which is a miracle in formed sentences somewhat, to the best of my ability. But this journey of recovery was so dark for me. I mean, in recovery, it was so dark, and I had to just listen to what my team of doctors at the time, said to do. And I love treatment. I think it's amazing. I don't know how I would be alive without it, but there are programs out there that are free, and there is help out there, and it's listening and following directions. And maybe you don't believe, but believe that somebody else believes, and I work with so many girls, not in treatment, but in the 12-step community. And I hear their stories, and it's like, that's me, or guy, if I talk to people in the rooms or whatever in the 12-step community, I hear my story, and I hear when they're saying these things, I relate. But I had, I think there's a thing in us, like, because we want to control something because we haven't been able to control anything for so long, that we think we're uniquely different. And the thing is just how it's been is I follow directions, and I have to have hope. I have hope that you have hope for me.
Right.
We were just talking before the show, and I'm like, just tell me I'm going to be okay. I feel off, even though
and everything is going perfect. Right.
My life is great. Right. I mean, I have a roof over my head. I have a pillow to sleep on tonight. I have food in the refrigerator. I have a beautiful home. I have my family's well. I have people who love me, and I feel a little off. And I've been writing every day, and I've been doing all this stuff, and I'm over 6 years sober, and I'm in a very raw place, and I'm also still decompressing from my experience for the month of working on the show that I just finished, and just trying to get back in the swing of things, and realize like I'm okay alone, and I'm not all alone. I'm not, I'm feeling the lonely, and that's okay. It's okay to feel that. And I know I'm going to get through it. And that's why it was like, just tell me I'm going to be okay.
No, and I think that was that's one of the biggest things you could say to people sometimes, is that you're going to be okay. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes that message gets missed. We want to answer, it's like when somebody's going through a rough time. It's like when an 18-year-old breaks up with somebody. Remember when we were all 18, you break up, everybody goes, oh, you're only 18. Just say, you don't have to say that, because that's minimizing it. Yeah. This person just wants to hear that they're going to be okay. Mm-hmm. And by the way, if you just tuned in, you're listening to Klean Radio Live. That's Klean with a K. Give us a call at 888-539-2980. That's 888-539-2980. I'm getting tons of tweets during the show from your huge fan base. Yes.
My friends, I have such great supporters.
And here's the thing.
Team Jen.
Team Jen. Yes. Team Jen. Team Jen. Okay, it's hard to check the tweets during the show. It would be a lot easier if you called and said hello.
People should call.
And because I love that you're tweeting, and I love that one of your friends said the only reason they listen to the show is because of me. I am honored and privileged that you do that.
Traitor. No, I'm just kidding.
But, give us a call. We won't scare you. We're in the studio tonight with Jennifer Easy on the Eyes Gimenez and Josie, hypnotherapist to the stars, Feldman. And I'm like really intrigued by this but we were talking about this. When you do hypnotherapy, you also recommend people getting therapy.
I do.
Right, you're not like the quick fix, and I think that's what people.
Yeah, I mean, for certain things, everybody has core issues, and I think a lot of addiction is core issues too. So basically what we try to do is get to the core issues. I mean, I happen to also be a psychotherapist, so I'm trained in that respect too. So that's kind of where I'm going at.
Why do you think they call it psychotherapist? Like it should be more pleasant.
I had that.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the 2-in-1. So what is that exactly? Because I had two of them. I had the psychotherapist and I had
the adjunct.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
you needed a lot of help.
I needed I had like 100
how like there's
doctors.
Team Gimenez, like of your fans. You had team therapy.
Honey, it takes a nation for me to stay sober and to like make sure I'm going to like be able to walk the next step. Seriously, no joke. But what is that? What is the difference?
What is a difference? Well, a hypnotherapist alone isn't necessarily trained as a psychotherapist in mental health, Mm-hmm. So that's why I feel like it's much more beneficial if you're looking at those core issues to be with somebody who also has that, especially if you have, any addiction issues or serious trauma. You want to be with somebody who also has a lot of education about that and knows other ways of dealing with that and is able to give you that sort of safe container,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, it's interesting because I, until right now, didn't know that you can have the whole package right here, and now I just love you even more because of that.
Oh.
No, seriously, because I knew I had two different doctors.
Are you sure? I'm joking. I thought maybe you were a little.
I had a lot of friends around in my room too,
Yeah,
but those
yeah.
were just voices.
There
and,
actually
I was
were
seeing-
2 doctors.
No,
yeah.
I think I had honestly about 8 different doctors the whole entire
Wow.
time. No, yeah, there was a whole Drew was one of the doctors of the addiction specialists I had, and then there was. I'm a trauma survivor on many levels, and dealing with the core issues and being able to talk about it today has been such a gift, and now I see it's very rewarding because I realize I'm not the only one, and I think people driving right now think that they're the only ones going through stuff.
I agree, and we're gonna have to come back. We're gonna have to take a little bit of a break. You're listening to Klean Radio Live. That's Klean with a K. We're in the studio tonight with Easy on the Eyes Gimenez and Hypnotherapy to the Star Feldman. Give us a call at 888-539-2980. That's 888-539-2980. The discussion continues at cleanradio.com.
Are you struggling with an addiction that's ruining your life? Want to have a confidential conversation with a professional that will immediately assist you? Do you suspect a loved one is abusing drugs and would like a free drug testing kit and consultation? Klean Treatment Center is standing by right now to help those with addictions and the people who care about them. Call 888-601-6040. That's 888-601-6040. Or go to Klean Treatment Center, that's Klean with a K, cleantreatmentcenter.com.
To Clean Radio. If you would like to join in on the discussion or are in need of immediate addiction assistance, call 888-539-2980. That's 888-539-2980. Or go to cleanradio.com. That's Clean with a K. Now, back to Andrew and Judah.
No Andrew, but
But
Team
there's
Gimenez.
the Judah.
There's the Judah, Team
Judah.
Gimenez. And I ordered me to come up with a compliment for Josie. I'll
Oh
be
my
working on
God,
that.
that's horrible. She's
beautiful.
out of the
I
body.
know. But
She's
I
like
feel
a
offended.
babe.
She's a modern day woman, and I'm
She
a little
is.
nervous that she might not want me
That's-
to.
I asked her, too, if
that
it
she
was
might not
okay.
want me to compliment her looks.
I'm like a little intimidated.
She's like very.
Oh,
I don't want to
sorry.
I don't want to offend the feminists out there and like have Gloria Steinem
What about
calling
me?
up.
Like you're
Well,
like easy on the
Jennifer.
eyes,
Yeah.
whatever.
Well,
blah,
you
blah, blah.
know. Anyways, welcome back to cleanradio.com. That's Clean with a K. Give us a call at 888-539-2980. That's 888-539-2980. Before anything, we've been kidding around. We've been having fun. I saw this post last week. It's a girl I know from the 12-step meetings, and somebody I know through, they posted a link, and it's about this person with her nieces or nephews. The link is, I think it's her nieces. They have leukemia. They're 4 years old, and I posted this link on Clean Radio. They're 4 years old. They have leukemia and they need help. And so please, Team Gimenez, look at the link. And it's a really cool thing. They're twins and they both have these genetic things. And if anybody could do anything to help, even if it's spread the word to help these like beautiful little kids, and they have Down syndrome, and it's like it's horrible story. But they look so happy in the pictures of the family, and you could tell there's love in the family. And somebody said something to me really cool one time, and they were talking about people with mental retardation and disabilities, and they said, we were talking about karma, and they said, well, what's the people's karma that like these good people that have disabled kids? And they said maybe it's the good disabled kids' good karma that they got the good parents, because you imagine if you had people with disabilities that had, sadly there are. That have really, and so please, I beg of you to go to this thing, check it out. If you can donate to it, if you can't not, just spread the message. And we have a Facebook question. The question is, heard you guys talk about hypnosis and how it can help with smoking. Can that work for opiate addiction as well?
I think it can.
Okay.
I absolutely think it can. And there have actually been studies on it, too. Studies on doing it for other addictions, for drug addictions. And what the studies show is that it does tend to work. And that's why a lot of treatment centers are integrating that as part of their treatment. You said that you got it too, because it is a very powerful tool.
She's still in it.
Yeah.
In the trance. She's still hypnotized. So, but one thing you're saying, though, is get other help, too.
Yes.
Right, which I think that's where the message, every time you see these commercials on TV, they never mention that stuff. It's always like, quit that, in 30 days or less, you'll be free of everything. But they never say you're going to also have to work on yourself after. And I think that's almost the worst form of abuse that you could do to a person is promise them this thing. And then when they get there, you're like, well, you don't even tell them it's not that simple,
Yeah.
I mean, but I think what's so amazing about Klean, again, one of the reasons, like after meeting with you guys for months and months and months, that Klean does have this, like that they have you and they have other professionals of different sorts and therapists and all this other stuff going on that helps the patients. It's not just one thing. Not all treatment centers have you. Like or people like you. No, it's so true.
People like me,
and or me, thank God. No, but it's true, and it's really important. Like I think if you're gonna go into a treatment facility, find out what resources you have, and also that it's true. Like they say, oh yeah, you can get better detox for 28 days and then you're fine. Like you're not. The journey starts after, I think. I mean, the beginning of it starts, the foundation and the structure starts, I think, in treatment.
Yeah.
And with people like you working there, and then you leave there and people are always like, well, what now? They're so in a rush to leave treatment, and then they go, well, how am I going to, okay, I got to go and work, and I got to go be a mom or dad.
Right.
And then they go and they think they can go back to society and be in the same environment and think it's going to be different.
Well, I think the biggest, just my personal experience, I think also sometimes the biggest form of denial, and obviously, not just in treatment, we hear this in the 12 steps all the time, is like, when people say, I have to go back to be back with my family. And I'm like, but you weren't with them to start with. It's like where is it's focus on yourself, and then you could become a better parent, a better, but it's like, and my friend one time said that to me. I was like, I didn't want to take a day off or something, or an hour off. He's like, the world lived without you for 22 years. It could live without you for an hour. Mm-hmm. And I think when people are getting sober, it's important to remember you have to take care of you first, because if you're not, then nobody else is going to get help.
Mm-hmm. And how quickly do people forget? I know I have been called out on that, in the beginning of my recovery, I forget because I cleaned up, and I used to clean up really well. And this time, I think my God has a funny sense of humor and decided not to have me clean up so easily. But I tend to, there's a couple times, dozens of times where I forget, what it was like, and I think I want to forget. I want to forget, but I can't. Like, I know how dark it got, and I hold on to that desperation. Yeah.
I have to ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
What is it like to have fans? No, and I mean that, and I'm being serious when I say that. I'm like, is that you have a lot of people that are. This is a true story, and I'm not going to mention the name, but today I was at an event, and this person walks up to me, and we were talking, and, they might be on
open about it.
Yeah, but, it's confidential in a sense, but she was you took her to her first meeting. And it was amazing. I didn't have to, this woman absolutely has nothing but fondness in her heart for you, and I'm not trying to make you cry, but you went out of your way. Life wasn't great for you at that time. Mm-mm. And you would take her to meetings, you'd hang out with her, and this is 6 years ago, I think. And
no, it was actually 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
But I still wasn't, it
wasn't
a pretty time.
You still were a mess. But it was 2009. And
actually.
2008. Sorry, that's that's almost 5 years. Anyways, we're semantics. But she had so much, it was amazing. I was so awestruck. I really was, that this woman had just a fondness for you. Not that that's impossible, but
for you it is. I guess about me.
but it's like you have people that it must be a little hard sometimes.
It is one of the. I think it's the greatest gift I've gotten from breaking my anonymity on such a ginormous scale and coming clean about who I am. And
that's clean with a K.
Yeah, clean with a K. Coming clean about where I'm at, who I am, and what I've gone through. And, I may have not yet said everything that I've gone through because I'm writing a book, and that everything
you have
is
to save
told.
A few chapters.
Yeah, they're like, I think the trilogy is what they're trying to do now.
That was my word,
I know
by the
it
way.
was. I know. That's why I went like this. I gave you credit. Hello.
I need props.
But I love you. I do. I don't know. You're part of my team, now. He really is, honestly. Like, even though he rolls his eyes a lot at me, he really is. And I think it's because we've gotten so close on such a platonic level. But no, he's like he's an angel for me on many levels. But, these people that I have met, that I've never met, but I've talked to on the internet, have seriously saved my life. And I think that people can relate, and they've seen me grow on so many scales and
ungrow
and ungrow. No,
yeah.
And I mean, I'm in awe, and honestly, I really am. It sometimes like that's what keeps me going.
By the way, if you just tuned in, you're listening to Klean Radio Live. That's Klean with a K. You're listening to us on News Talk, KFWB 980. Also, worldwide at kleanradio.com. That's Klean with a K. Give us a call. You also, go to our Facebook page. We will have our T-shirts out. So
promise.
I promise.
Correct?
So what do you think? I don't want my T-shirt.
My 15,000
Okay, here's the
people.
deal.
Remember,
Here's
we're
the
gonna
deal.
beat you up
Our
if we
first
don't get
week,
those shirts.
Get you. We'll hypnotize
we're going to be
you.
on XM.
Quack like
We're
a
going to be
duck.
on XM.
Or something
starting-
worse.
We're going to have a great show. Okay, guys, we have a radio
should
show
think of
going on. No crosstalk, yes, and we have a or negative feedback. We have we're going to be June 17th on XM, and also we're going to still be here on our flagship station. But that first week, we have an amazing show set up. We have Eddie McClintock from this TV show Warehouse 13. I know is a good friend of yours.
Friend of mine.
And by June 17th, we're going to have the T-shirts out because that first night we're on XM, I really want everybody wearing as they're excited as I will be for that, for being on XM. And so then they'll have their shirts by June 17th. If they don't, I'll send you my own personal T-shirts, and I'll write Klean Radio on
now,
them.
can people go on Facebook, Klean fan page, and ask for?
Yes, they can. Just here's the thing: I don't want you to put up your addresses, so just go to because that's I don't know who's looking at our Klean. You just don't put your addresses online, ladies and
gentlemen. I have some amazing men in my life on Twitter and Facebook and websites.
No doubt, ladies and gentlemen, and Hazel Butterworth is one of them, right? And he's a fan of yours. That is something like that. He's always got an odd comment to make.
It's Doc, and it's a girl, and she's hot.
Oh,
yeah.
No, it's somebody else, I thought. Anyways, but getting back to it, yes, go to kleanradio.com and contact, and in the contact, they'll email directly the place to send the T-shirts.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so that way you're not putting your addresses and your apartment numbers on.
You know how you're a little jealous of the fact that I have so many amazing, loyal people in my
I'm
life?
in awe.
I'm a little in awe that you guys have so many likes on your Facebook page because I don't have.
Well, ladies love the Judah.
I need people to like my fan page on Facebook.
Okay, so if somebody were to tune in right now, all they'd really be hearing about is please like.
Jennifer Gimenez
Jennifer Easy on the Eyes Gimenez.
No, that's not it. It's Jennifer Gimenez on Twitter and Jennifer Gimenez fan page.
Yeah.
On Facebook.
Is there anything else you want to sell in the next 2 minutes? No, I'm joking.
JenGimenez.com.
Okay, so let's talk about something that I think let's talk about relationships for a second. People are getting sober. People are sober. I saw somebody tonight. He's newly sober, and he went to rehab. He got out of rehab, and he went back home, and it's hard, And his wife is like, making some demands, and or is her. What do you say to them, Josie? Like, I mean, I'm sure you're starting to deal with this, and what is go to Al-Anon? Should the spouse others? How does it work?
I think Al-Anon is an excellent resource for people to become educated on addiction because, frankly, most people don't know much about it and they don't know how to deal with it, what signs to look for, and how to reintegrate. How do you continue your life with the person that you've been in a relationship with after the trust has been broken there, and oftentimes you'll have one person who gets very controlling of the other person and starts checking up on them constantly. And the other person, almost sometimes the other person will relapse just to get back at them in a way, like unconsciously. That's what they're trying to do because they get angry. So it can lead to a lot of relationship issues. So it's always good to do couples counseling as well.
Is there hope?
Is there hope?
No. And I'm asking.
Yes.
I mean, I think that's. It's like I was blessed when I got sober. I didn't have a wife. I didn't have kids, and I was able to focus on myself. And when people are going to rehab and they're married, they have kids, it is a little harder.
Yeah.
Yes, Jen.
I say a lot to people when I do the integration recovery process when they're leaving clean is like, our family members, our loved ones, our employees, people who know, they walk on eggshells and they're almost like ready for you to fall, like because they're so used to the old destructive behavior, and that's where they need to focus on themselves. But I so agree with what you're saying is, the other person or family, more than one person needs to grow as well, and that's by taking care of themselves and learning how to let go. Correct.
Mm-hmm. Let go of control, because they can't control the other person's actions. If the other person is going to relapse, they're going to relapse. All they can do there is be there to support them.
But it's obviously, one of my favorite things about, with the 12 steps and certain things is it was one of the things it talks about. And there's a chapter in the, one of the 12-step things where it's, the family afterward. Because for years you're used to taking care of this person, right? You're used to taking care of the loved one, the son, and then all of a sudden they start becoming healthier and you don't know what to do. And I think that in lies also one of the things. You're no longer needed as that caretaker. And what do you do? I mean, I guess you were saying like Al-Anon, which is, what is Al-Anon exactly to people out there that are listening?
It's an organization that is basically set up to help educate people on all the different facets of addiction, especially families and loved ones.
Yes, Jen? Have you ever attended Al-Anon?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I work in recovery. I have a lot of loved ones who are in recovery or have alcoholism. I mean, it's all over, and so I need to learn to deal with it. And let dropping the rock, that's what they say. They always say, Jen, drop the rock. Because I want to control things and save people and, do these things, because that's what I've done since I was a kid, is try to save people and situations and whatnot. And so it's really important that I go to Al-Anon. My sponsor, a guide in life, she deals with it with me a lot. It's hard to let go,
And it's something, by the way, if you just tuned in, you're listening to Klean Radio Live. That's Klean with a K. Give us a call at 888-539-2980. 888-539-2980. We're in the studio tonight with Jennifer Easy on the Eyes Gimenez. And Rand came up with a great name, Josie Hypnogoddess Feldman.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. You're a hypnogoddess. And that doesn't sound great because a hypno, it almost sounds like a hippo goddess.
Yeah.
Why do you have to give her credit?
I'm trying to come up with something.
It sounds like a hypno.
No, because I want to come up with something that is like it's for the future. It's just like Jennifer Easy on the Eyes Gimenez. It's great. It just flows.
I'm honored.
Yes, and your tweeters love it, and
they're more than tweeters. They're people I love,
right,
and they're human
that's
beings
actually
that
something.
have feelings.
That's actually one of them wrote that. They wrote because she cares about every single one of us.
I do. I honestly, and I respond to everybody. I respond on Twitter. Sometimes I forget. Sometimes I've been working 20 hours a day for over a month straight or whatever, and I can't respond all the time. But I respond to emails, and I take the time, because people take the time to care for me, I would have never have dreamt this. If you told me 6 years ago that my life would be this, I'd be like, you're such a liar and I don't trust you, because you're saying that.
Right.
And the fact that I've had second chances, and, for people who are driving, or people who are watching right now, or people who are, listening, there is hope and there is second chances in life. Even though it may be a dark time, or your family member may be going through something, and not just with alcohol and drug addiction, but with other stuff in their lives, there is hope. There really is.
No, it's incredibly important that you're sharing about that. It's also, you were talking about, you said sponsor, and then you said what a sponsor is. I think sometimes it's important to explain the lingo. Because out there, there are a lot of people, obviously, that watch Celebrity Rehab or Sober House or Intervention or any, the wide variety, a range of shows out there. But, I was, where was I for New Year's? I was in the country, not the country, but I was in Palm Desert, and I was at this country club. And I was sitting with a woman at a table, and she was a little older, about 50, and she was sharing that her only knowledge of rehab was Celebrity Rehab. And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. I know Jennifer. But it's so funny because I live in LA, I automatically think everybody knows the lingo. Mm-hmm. And this woman who's really was a very sweet lady, had no idea what you were her vessel for rehab. And that scared me a little bit. No, I'm joking. That it scared me that her only thing is Celebrity Rehab, because it's not always the most accurate. Is it accurate?
Well, what you don't see is that, because when I came into Sober House and I brought in my 12-step community people, that had 20 years or more to help me with traditions. We have this thing called traditions where we don't break the anonymity of the program in the sense of I'm allowed to break my anonymity, but when I took them to meetings. I took the cast members to meetings. I take we do step work. We don't read about it on the show because it's breaking a tradition and that part of it. But it's amazing. Yesterday I was at these MTV Movie Award functions, and there's like Christina Miliani was there, and we were talking because we had shot. And here I'm name dropping. We had shot the cover of Latina together. And I was like, "Oh my God, you look so great, and congratulations on your success." And she's like, "I love your show." And like Ava Mendes, a couple 8 months ago was like, I've watched your show, and I'm like, oh my God,
Right.
And people like the hairdresser yesterday who I was at this thing, he's like, I've been praying to meet you one day. And I'm like, but you're fabulous and like famous, and he was like, I love your show. P. Diddy is a huge fan of our show. And I'm
Weird
like,
Al Yankovic is a huge fan of mine. No, he's not. But I just thought I would throw
but
somebody out there.
It's insane
that's,
that so many people
Yeah.
know. And again, the seed has been planted. And
Can I be honest with you, by the way, what you were saying? And I was talking to my girlfriend about this, that I'm convinced the Nielsen's are off. I was somewhere the other night where I was with 10 people. Every single one of them watched one of my favorite shows right now called Storage Wars. And
I've watched that show.
Right. Everybody there watched this show. And I'm like, what is it? Just the people I'm sitting with, and then the other 1,000 people in the room don't watch the show. I'm convinced, the ratings. Everybody I know watches,
yeah.
but they don't admit it. That's the problem.
Well, I've been getting that lately. Like people on the streets have been saying, I watch your show, and people that are even bigger names that I just dropped.
Right.
By the way, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And the thing is, it's I feel like it's a movement. And, sometimes I just want to shake people when I hear ignorance is bliss. And sometimes people just turn their face not my kids or not me or mental disorder. I don't believe in that or this and that. And I'm just like, no, but it does exist with all this movement of people coming forward and doing the show, for example, on 980, KFWB, this is huge. Or going on the website, this, you're breaking your anonymity, and you're, making a difference. And so we're making the seed grow. And it's amazing because of that. So, I'm proud of it. But there is things that you don't see on, rehab, celebrity rehabs or sober houses because we don't want to disturb or ever break a tradition on that level.
No, that's really cool. And it's what you're saying. I'm convinced, though, if you call somebody's house, or, I guess Nielsen's work through the box.
They work through a box and randomly pick.
I don't, it's
but Rehab, for example, when it airs, I think, about 45 times in 1 week. Something crazy, right? So
and you get paid $10,000 each time it's on.
I get paid once, and it's $1. But
because that's cable.
I know, and it's hit all over the world.
Yeah.
So there's over 20 million people who watch that show at the end of the day. And you're like, wow.
No, it's pretty amazing. And Josie, okay, so you do, you're obviously, you are an amazing therapist, and I've seen the work you do, and, I see that with the clients, but I'm more intrigued about, obviously, so is Jennifer right now, about this hypnotherapy type of thing. How do we get in touch with you?
Well, you can get in touch with me.
I know how I can, but how does the peons out there? No, I'm joking.
This is why you have no fans.
It's a joke. It's the little people out there. And
I
am going to throw my phone.
So
I just want to
Team
send
Judah.
people T-shirts. And how do people get in touch with you?
You can get in touch with me through www.josiefeldman.com.
Or just josiefeldman.com.
Or josiefeldman.com.
The www.
www
We sort of
thing.
stopped doing it in
I
1993.
I still do that.
Yeah, don't do it.
Just I still go to thefacebook.com.
Yeah.
Right?
It's www. You could just. It's like
I say
putting
talcum powder.
It's like
too,
putting
by
the
way.
1 in the zip code. You don't need to do it anymore.
I always do.
Yeah, you could just do the zip code. The www is sort of pass. Area code. Thank you, Caroline. And it's so cool. When you're doing this, Caroline is amazing, and so is Rand. It takes a lot of people to put on this show, and I sometimes I don't often get a chance to thank him, but Jesse does an amazing job behind the board, and Patrick to my left, who the women can't see. Come,
but
put
he's
your
a
face
hottie
in front of.
patati.
He is. He's an amazing video guy. He's one of the best in town.
Yeah, he's on his phone.
And go to Klean. Because he's he's doing stuff for Facebook for us, and I'm just covering for you at that point.
No, but I'm sorry. I need to interrupt. I want to say, though, I want to make this very clear. We joke around. We say a lot of things. You say things very short, and cut and dry. But you are one of the most amazing men I know, and I treasure you like one of my best friends. And it's not because, I don't say that to just anyone. So you are amazing. You do have a really soft heart.
Did you say it to P. Diddy? Because
No.
that would be really cool if you said that. Because I'd be like honored, even if you were lying to
Such
him,
a
like that
brat.
Judah. And I appreciate it. I love life. I'm a content, human being, and I'm from Brooklyn. And we have a way of saying certain things, and it's like, I remember when I moved out here, I had to start learning political correctness with the way I talked if I was going to exist in LA, because I realized not everybody appreciates my sense of humor. Jen, you're amazing. So let's get back to Josie for a second. Everybody knows where to find Jen Gimenez, and that's no, I'm joking.
1-900 with my commercial. I feel like a 1-900.
Josie,
commercial.
I know you do.
Okay, so Josie, how do people? So people go to Josie.
JosieFeldman.com.
Josie Feldman. Spell that out so people, because
JosieFeldman.
See here, I thought it was Feldman. I thought Feldman was wrong, but they spelt it wrong here.
Oh,
good job, Rand. And you're trying to make her not that Jewish. And it's JosieFeldman.com, and they could. So basically, people could get help. Call you up. They get you. Do you take insurance?
No,
not yet. And so have you helped people quit smoking?
I have.
What about losing weight? Let's talk about the weight thing.
Yeah, well, losing weight, that works for that too. Absolutely. I mean, there's a reason why people are overeating.
Right. I was at the zoo yesterday, by the way, and I took Klean. We have a sober fun day.
Yeah.
And if you want to see some very unhealthy people, go to go to the zoo. I know it sounds like I'm
No, it sounds terrible. Like he's even like.
Does it sound really bad?
Yeah, it sounds.
Oh my God,
horrific.
I'm sorry.
Like
I'm really sorry, but no, I felt horrible. There was there's obviously we have an obesity problem in America. Probably all over, and so you could do things to help people with their weight issues.
Yeah, and I think there is something to helping people educate them about eating. You know, I think in the end, really, a lot of it is what you're eating and how much you're eating.
Yeah,
I will not eat anything with pink slime.
Yeah, emotional eating.
Yeah,
I will not eat anything with pink slime. But,
oh my God, that just sounds horrific. Maybe my mind is in the gutter, but I'm just going to let that one go.
No, Jen, you probably missed. That's what they put on the meats to keep them fresh.
That's what I was thinking.
Right. It's pneumonia. And it was a huge story out there. I know that's not what you were thinking, but it was a huge story that McDonald's and all the fast food places, they put this pink slime on the foods, and Josie knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can eat McDonald's fries. You can actually let it sit outside. Like I think it's a month, or is it 3 weeks later, and it's still the same.
Yeah, the burgers.
Okay,
too.
we have a quick call. Let's take it. Hello, welcome to Klean Radio.
Yes, hi. I just had a quick question.
Go for it.
You were talking about it earlier about the sniffing.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend is an addict. I am not. And I was wondering, what would you consider? Would that be like breaking your clean date or not breaking your clean date?
Yes, that would be.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
without a shadow of a doubt.
That's relapsing.
Even if you,
Even if it's like once a month.
Yes.
Yeah. There's no recreational sniffing.
Even if it's organic, like they're using it to get out of themselves.
Right.
Like,
Anything. I mean, and it's very dangerous because if obviously sniffing, it's with the whippets, it's basically something quick to your brain.
They kill brain cells.
Yeah, they kill brain cells.
This guy
very dangerous.
And they could kill you. And
they can take your eyeballs out.
Right. And I listen, I wish there was a better case scenario, but when it comes to this stuff, the script is already written. If you're an addict, you're an alcoholic, one is what gets you there.
Yeah, one is too many, 1,000 is
never
never
enough.
And if you have the gene and you're sober and then you kind of casually control it, eventually it will lead to how it was 10 times worse. Correct?
Absolutely, Jen.
Is that I know that's. I'm not going to ask you if that helped because I know you're in a rough situation. But if you need any help, give us a call.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, great. We are running out of time.
Already?
Yeah, we got to. It goes quick with the Judah. And
the Judah.
I'm joking. I am actually honored that I had both of you. I mean, you guys were really just amazing, and I think the world of both of you. And I don't want to get too emotional and sappy, but let's thank easy on the eyes, Gimenez, for coming in and
Thank
co-hosting for the,
Thank you. I love doing this. I will, if you ask me, I'll do it every week or whenever you need a fill-in.
There's a choice between, staring at Andrew the whole time and you. And let's think I'm joking. I love Andrew and I miss him. He'll be back in 2 weeks. Josie Feldman,
Josie.
hypnotherapist to the stars and Klean Treatment Zone.
And everyone listening,
And
thank
thank you,
you.
Team Gimenez and Team Judah now. And we'll see you next time. The discussion continues at cleanradio.com.
Are you struggling with an addiction that's ruining your life? Want to have a confidential conversation with a professional that will immediately assist you? Do you suspect a loved one is abusing drugs and would like a free drug testing kit and consultation? Klean Treatment Center is standing by right now to help those with addictions and the people who care about them. Call 888-601-6040. That's 888-601-6040. Or go to Klean Treatment Center, that's Klean with a K, cleantreatmentcenter.com.